menu today is the Dutch bank ING Groep. The ticker symbol on the Euronext Amsterdam Exchange is INGA. It costs about €13 per share. It pays 2 dividends per year, and the last two were for 35 cents per share and 38.9 cents per share. The next ex-dividend date is the 24th of April, and that will be paid out on the 3rd of May. The current dividend yield is about 6.2%. I started a small position on the 21st of June of 2021, and I'm about 35% up. I've received 88 cents in dividends so far, and no returns of capital as of yet. The stock is down about 3% in the last 5 days. It's down about 5% in the last month. It's up about 2% in the last 6 months. It's up 4% in the last year, and it's up about 31% in the last 5 years. The bank was founded in 1991, and the stock is up about 140% since 1995. So a quick overview on ING Group, and there's 5 points it can earn in this section. So it's a Dutch multinational banking and financial services corporation. It's headquartered in Amsterdam, and it was founded in 1991, which makes it 32 years of age. That earns it 0.65 out of 1 point for maturity. It currently employs about 60,000 people. That earns it 1 point out of 1, and as it is a bank, it offers things like lending, mortgages, savings accounts, real estate and lease, but it does operate in multiple countries. So it has a section in the Netherlands, one in Belgium, one in Germany, and one in Australia. So out of 1 point for products and reach, it earns 0.85. ING Group has a current market cap of €45.5 billion, making it a large cap stock and earning it 1 point out of 1. Reuters rates them just above a hold based on 4 analyst ratings, and Market Screener rates them a little bit closer to a buy. It's in the range of a moderate buy. That's based on 22 different analyst ratings. Those are seen here. It's 9 buys, 5 outperforms, 8 holds, and 1 without opinion. Yahoo Finance gives them a 2.7 out of 5, 1 being a strong buy and 5 being a sell. So it's another one that's just a little bit above a hold. The Wall Street Journal gives them 14 buy ratings, 6 hold ratings, 1 underweight rating, and 1 sell rating for an overall consensus of buy. They have a high price target of €18.10, a median price target of €16.45, and a low price target of €12.50, which is about where we are now. Investing.com gives them 14 buy ratings and 8 neutral ratings based on 23 analysts for an overall consensus of outperform. They have an average price target of €16.38, which is a 27.7% upside. So for the overview, they scored 4.05 points out of 5. Not the worst start I've seen, but not perfect. And for the valuation section, there's another 5 points that they can earn. Their revenue for the third quarter of last year was about €5.5 billion, which is up about 40% year on year. And their net income is about €2 billion, which is 102% up year on year. Their net profit margin is 35%, which is up about 45% year on year. And their operating income is €2.9 billion, which is 101% up year on year. That earns them 1 point out of 1. ING Group has a current earnings per share of €1.09. Their trailing price to earnings ratio over the last 12 months is 6.81, and currently they have a forward price to earnings ratio of 6.56. Both of these are under the industry average, which indicates that they're currently at a good price and earns them 1 point out of 1. In the third quarter of last year, they beat their earnings estimate by 4.9%, and they've beaten them for the last 4 quarters in a row. Their level of debt, on the other hand, is not good. They have about €1 trillion in assets, and very close to that in liabilities, €970 billion. That gives them a debt to assets ratio of 95%. That is actually quite common in banks. They operate with a lot of debt, which is why they fail when everybody tries to take their money out or when they make terrible decisions. And although it is standard for banks, it's still a terrible ratio, and it earns them 0.1 out of 1 point. Their cash flow situation is also pretty bad. Now this is from 2022 because they haven't released everything for 2023, but they have an annual operating cash flow of negative €11.1 billion. Their cash flow from investing is negative €5.3 billion, and their cash flow from financing is €4.65 billion. So that also earns them 0.1 out of 1 point. I had a look in a few places and there wasn't enough data to compare how many shares were bought by insiders to how many shares were sold, but as of June 4th, 2023, less than 1% of ING Group was owned by insiders. That earns them 0.1 out of 1 point. So not a great score for the valuation, 2.3 out of 5 points. And for the dividend section, there's 6.5 points that ING Group can earn. So the first part is the dividend frequency, and it pays a dividend twice per year, but it also pays special dividends. It paid 2 special dividends in 2022. So for paying twice a year, it earns 0.5 points, and it earns the bonus 0.2 for paying the bonus dividends. And the current dividend yield is about 6.2%. That earns it another 1 point out of 1. Their current dividend payout ratio is about 72%, which is not bad. That earns them 0.6 out of 1. But they have only raised dividends for the last 2 years. They paid 39 cents in 2021, they paid 81 cents in 2022, and they paid 82 cents in 2023. So 2 years of consecutive dividend raises only earns them 0.1 out of 1 point. They have only been paying dividends for the last 9 years, because by the looks of it, after the 2008 financial crisis, they stopped paying them until about 2015. And then when everything locked down in 2020, they reduced the dividend. They reduced it again in 2021, and since then they have been raising it. So paying 9 years of consecutive dividend payments earns them 0.3 out of 1. Their forward dividend yield is close to 11%. It's 10.82%. But because of this gap in dividend payments, it's difficult to find a dividend growth rate for 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. But I will give them the benefit of the doubt and give them 0.6 out of 1 point because of this forward dividend yield of 10.8%. So for their dividend, they scored 3.7 out of 6.5. And their overall score from start to finish was 10.05 out of 16.5. That's an overall score of about 61%. So not the best, but not the worst. There is much better choices out there, but it looks like things have been improving for them over the last couple of years. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's it for this one, and I hope you found this useful.